All right, next, I appreciate you being so candid and playing ball with us on this. Another just fun question, not financial advice, just fun thought experiment. If you were starting with only $1,000 to your name today, how would you invest that $1,000 into the crypto market with the goal of becoming wealthy?
Interesting. Okay. Side note, do I care if I lose the $1,000? How important is the $1,000 to me?
I think it's your investable money.
It's my investable capital, but I'm not going to go hungry if I lose it. Okay. All right. As long as it's money that I'm willing to lose, I would probably concentrate on. It's a really good question. $1,000 if you're dealing with DeFi and Ethereum is not a huge amount of money because you have to pay all the gas fees, which can be massive. So it would probably still just be buying tokens on an exchange. And I would probably weight it 30% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, because I think those guys have got a decent upside. And then I would have 10% on some of the meme coins. So I'd probably go 10% on Shiba, 10% on Doge. And then on the other ones, I would then go with the sort of the projects that I think are like strongest in the combination of things that matter in DeFi. So like community building and innovation. So like I definitely get some Aave, 10% in Aave, 10% in synthetics, because I think synthetics is underpriced at the moment, and then 10% in Abracadabra money, because I just think it's awesome.
Not afraid to take a small allocation in the meme coins. I respect it. That's
no, man. Like I think that it's that, like, what is it? The idea that the funniest outcome is also the most likely within a like highly connected social world. Like I still think that I think it's their entry level drug, and when the market is going up, you get lots of new entrants into crypto, and there's lots of people sitting there on their first Coinbase account and going, there's one called Doge, there's one called Shiba, I'll buy it. So I think that's going to drive it, just because $100 from 1 million people is a lot of money when it's added up and people just think it's funny.
And why did you say in your opinion, synthetics is undervalued? What is it about that?
So like the synthetics team were one of the earlier DeFi builders, and like they are one of the few ones that sort of actually properly understand traditional financial products, as well as like I call it, there's this thing I call the DeFi way of building, right? So there's a bunch of DeFi primitives that you kind of have to understand to be able to build DeFi. Some of these are things like pools and shares, like the idea of pooling things together, where you don't, like in finance, you have this concept of one-to-one product. So I will sell you a loan, and it's you have a loan and I'm the person loaning to you, right? Whereas DeFi skips straight to this secondary concept of securitization, where it's like a pool of loans. I have a pool of loans and I own a share of that pool of loans, or I own a share of that pool of assets, which completely changes how you build financial products, and it also allows like emergent pricing to occur. So like the lending rate of USDC on Aave changes moment to moment based on the two-sided market, the people who are willing to lend at that rate and the people who want to borrow at that rate to get leverage in the market. And so that percentage rate isn't being set by an individual taking a view or even an algorithm. It's being set real time by the market in terms of what's called a Schelling point at any given time. That's really important. That's a really important concept that most people from traditional finance just don't get as a starting point. And then there's a bunch of other things that sort of matter in terms of your optimizations. But then in finance itself, finance is a really robust, difficult area of human endeavor that like is really deep, and there's lots of complicated concepts. Synthetics has bridged both. They were like super early into liquidity mining. They understand the concept of like aggregated emergent pricing, but they also like have created a very complicated, from a financial point of view, financial product. And like if anyone is gonna get finance and DeFi together and start building some really interesting stuff, which they've already started with, but continue building some really interesting stuff, I think it's going to be the synthetics team. And there's been like a lot of like recent FUD around synthetics not doing much and like being a bit like, and not being pumpy, right? But I actually really back the team. I think they're great.
Yes, great perspective. To watch the full conversation, there's a link down below in the video description. And if you're interested in learning more about cryptocurrency, click subscribe. We drop a video every single day. You do not want to miss one. See you tomorrow.